Hello everyone, I'm Marina and it's Sakramel School. Today, I will tell you how to fix nail extension mistakes made by another nail tech. We've got a lot of work to do, so subscribe to the channel and let's get right into it. This is what my model's nails look like. This manicure is only 3 days old. Can you imagine? Let's check out the architecture. They're very flat. Many of the sidewalls were filed off or the form was set up incorrectly. The surface is uneven. The thumbnail goes to the side. I check the arch and see that they are flat. Again, it indicates that the forms were not set up correctly. They were too open. The thumb is really bumpy. There are a lot of cuticle floods and wounds. In this video, I'm going to show you how to lay out the material smoothly near the cuticle to prevent floods, because every single flood will turn into a lifting. Remove the length and gel polish. Then remove 2/3 of the old coating. Since the nails were done just a few days ago, it's going to be hard to get into the cuticle area. So I take a carbide drill bit with a thin tip. It allows me to remove all the old coverage. I can see a lifting on the index finger, which is the result of the leaked material. In order to remove it, I thin out the material underneath it. And then I go across its border, so it falls off by itself. Now I'm removing the material even further, so there is no transition between the natural nail and artificial coating. Now you can see the excess thickness because we removed the free edge. What's more, there is a lot of the previous material to be removed. I can see a big lifting on the middle nail. I'm removing it the same way. Going across the border, here the material flowed badly. When you do an extension, be extremely careful and remember that even the smallest flood will lead to chipping and creating an air pocket in the coating. I shape the nails into ovals or almonds while removing the lens with a carbide drill bit to save up time on filing later. My model does not have any cracks on the sidewalls, but trust me, the cracks would appear soon, because for this lens, the architecture is too flat. There is not enough material in the central part, on the stress zone. There are often cracks on the right side, not only because the gel flow in there, but because the nail tech is uncomfortable with filing this side. Look how I'm holding the finger. Upper grip, the finger is on the side. And in this position, it's comfortable to process this area. And I can see a huge lifting on the pinky. Liftings may appear not only after 2 or 3 weeks of wearing. As you can see, they are so deep and big just after 3 days. Imagine what would have happened to these nails after a month of wearing. They would just all lift up in the cuticle area and make my model feel very bad. They would get hair, dirt, and we don't know what else could have happened to these nails. Well, that's the most crucial mistake that you should avoid. I've completed the removal step, but I can see that cracks continue to appear. In this case, I have to remove them, so I'm thinning out the material underneath the crack and file it off. Here it's easier to do a new extension, since we have the material left only on the free edge. If you support this video with likes, I will film a new one about redoing nail extension. Before the correction, we need to do a manicure. First, I open up the cuticle pocket with an orange stick. I can see that the index nail goes to the side. I need to find the central axis through 3 phalanges of the finger, through the center of the cuticle and the free edge. I can see the excess thickness on the free edge. It can also be removed with a file. I always process the nails with such an abrasive file instead of a nail buffer. It helps to leave the scales well enough. However, don't use a very rough file, because you'll be thinning out the nails too much and the coating won't hold on them. The lower parallel is missing on the middle finger, and there is also a layering that would cause leaks. We will fix it. When I shake the nails into almonds, I make long moves. First on the right side, then on the left. I file off the free edge, then I start filing under the nail plate. Filing a straight line up to the free edge. I keep lower parallels on the same level. I'm filing these sides to the center. To keep the material from further chipping, we need to do a manicure. And remove the pterygium from the nail plate very thoroughly. I use a red diamond flame drill bit. I've chosen it because the cuticle is sensitive. First, I process the left side of the sinus and the cuticle on all the nails. Then I switch the rotation direction of the e-file and process the right sides. I can see that the cut from the previous manicure has already healed, so I can work here, but very carefully. I started processing the index finger, and I saw that the cuticle is stuck to the nail plate. Nail technicians often don't notice it, and that's where all the floods start. I'm opening up the cuticle pocket with an orange stick and continue processing with the bit. I'm cutting the cuticle at this stage. However, you can cut it even after the extension. That's what the techs do when they are afraid to cut the cuticle with a file and ruin the manicure. In most cases, it's easier to remove the cuticle right away and not get back to this stage. Now I'm dehydrating the nails, and they are ready for the correction. I'm applying all the necessary products to improve bonding. A dehydrator that deeply dries the nail plate, and an acid-free primer that acts as a double-sided tape, providing a better bonding between the natural nail and the artificial material. As a base coat, I've chosen a rubber gel polish base. That holds up well on most of the nail types. I apply it in a thin layer with no alignment. 5 nails at once. And I'm sanding it to cure in the lamp for 30 seconds. To repair the cracks and build up the sidewalls, I like to use very thick gels. This one is from Emi, a composite gel. It can be used to build up small areas without touching the nail. On the middle, I can see a layering, which indicates that the form was set up incorrectly. The form was not set at the point of the nail grows, so soon there would be a crack at this place. I'm grabbing a small amount of the material and applying it without touching the nail. Don't worry if it gets on the skin, because the gel does not dry out on the skin. After curing, we will separate the gel and file it off. You can replace this gel with aqua gel or jelly gel, but this gel is an extra strength one. Cured it, now I'm wiping off the tacky layer and filing. So we have the bottom parallel now. I will use Cosmoprofit Gel for building up the nail architecture. It's a high-density gel, and it's perfect for beginners. I grab a small amount of the material and moisturize the nail plate with a few moves. Then I grab a big drop and put it on the highest point, the stress zone, which should be strengthened the most. I'm pushing the material to the cuticle at a 45-degree angle, very gently. I make sure that the material is not flowing or touching the skin. The model's finger is slightly tilted down for the same reason, to prevent flooding. I spread the rest of the material to the tip and use a brush to remove any excess. We have already built up a smooth architecture. Ascending to the highest point and descending to the free edge. I'm going to cure it for 1 minute. I keep working on one nail at a time so that there are no leaks. I push the material near the cuticle at a 45-degree angle and take a step back. With this step, there will be a smooth transition to the cuticle. I stretch it out to the free edge. If needed, I turn the hand over to align the surface. Using more liquid material would allow us to lay out the material with no filing. But here we have a more complex problem. We're fixing the architecture. So I took the high density gel, and I'm going to file the surface later. To keep the nails strong, we need to build up the entire architecture in the middle of the nail plate. If you make the nails flat, they will break down as soon as you hit them. When the stump is cured, I send all the nails to cure for 2 minutes. I'm removing the tacky layer. Done with the shape. All I have to do now is to adjust it a little. For this purpose, I'm using a nail file for artificial nails, making long moves. File under the nail. For the cuticle line, I like to use a thin file at a 45-degree angle. I work carefully and slowly since I don't want to hurt the client. For processing the right sinus, I put the finger on the side, hold it with an upper grip, and file it in this position. Then I smooth out the surface with the file, making long moves from left to right. I don't make any random moves all over the nail plate, because it will cause bumps. Move only in one direction. If we build it up correctly, there is not that much for us to file. This is how the nails look after filing. Nice and clear, with straight lower parallels. Turn the client's hand over and remove the excess thickness with a carbide drill bit. Remove the transition between the natural nail and the artificial material. If the natural nail plate has grown out, it should be removed as well. Above the surface, you don't have to polish it too much, because there will be a gel polish coating. You can also use a diamond drill bit to remove small hangnails or the ruffled cuticle. I'm using a rounded cylinder, 0.5 in diameter. I smooth out the side folds and the cuticle in the forward position. Here are the nails after the manicure and correction. They are very defined, with correct architecture, with the right lines. They already look so different compared to what they were. I'm happy with the result, but I want to do the coating and design. I'm using a milky shade for background, but I want to paint the free edge more opaque. So I apply the first layer with thick gel polish and the second layer with milky gel polish. The design will be textured. I will use blue, dark blue, and turquoise shades. I put a drop of each gel polish, layering them, and then mix with a thin brush. I'm using an ombre brush to grab the material, and then I carefully lay it out on the nail. That's a very unique and abstract design. Adjusting the drops with a thin brush and adding colors that are not enough. Then adding a gold leaf foil to make it all shine. This design is really original and will never turn out the same. On each nail, you will have a unique piece of art. Cure it well for 1 minute, so the gel polish does not crumple. I'm covering all the painted nails with a matte top that creates an interesting textured effect. And I'm covering all the rest with a non-tacky top. This kind of correction is easy and takes not more than 2 to 2.5 hours for an experienced nail tech. Here's the results of our correction. Give this video a big thumbs up if you like this transformation, and watch all my nail extension videos to avoid any mistakes. I wish you all success in your work. Bye bye!